Is that supposed to be me? It's grotesque. I'll give you $20,000 for it. Welcome back to Should You Watch This with the Popcorn Priest, a weekly podcast where movie enthusiasts, ex-movie theater projectionists, and current movie theater installers,
repair person, whatever.
New and old friends take the time to talk about a movie that we would just watch and answer that very question: should or shouldn't you watch this?
Grab my hand. Grab it. But then we will both die, and I could never live with myself after that, so you let go! You let go! Goodbye, Nicolas Cage. I'll never forget you,
Habs.
Never forget you.
The best shot was the first time they attempt it and they just drop him on the ground.
You go! Mr. Cage? Javi? Buddy! Hey, where'd you come from? Oh. Yeah, turns out we could have just walked around.
Welcome back, everyone. I like this more, I think, than you guys did.
Probably.
I don't think I ever saw the full trailer, so I thought it was going to be totally different than what it was.
I liked it, but I
thought it was going to be a little more meta, like more references to his stuff rather than his weird family problems.
It's no Mandy. It's no Mandy.
Guys were laughing.
Oh no, it's funny.
It's funny.
And it's fun.
Oh, no, there's like when the jokes hit, like they're funny as hell.
Yeah, and there's a lot of them. Like I laughed out. I've seen this before. This is my second time viewing this, and I laughed as hard or harder than I did the first time I watched it. It's really good.
Yeah, and I was concerned it would be like a little too like reference is a form of humor, like where it's just kind of like I'm referring to this. Isn't that funny? And it's not too much. They're real jokes, like and like some of it's just like physical comedy, or like when he gets the makeup and that's probably the biggest laugh in the movie for me.
I mean, I loved when the moment where Nick Cage just shoves his tongue right out when he's like, all right, let's do the acid. And he's just like, boom. All right, let's go. F it. And then he takes the acid. That's great.
When he tries to do the fake laugh to see if they're paying attention to him or not on the stairs.
Oh,
is the funniest part. They're trying to figure out if these two random people are spies or not when they're just high on LSD, and so then he just starts making a fake laugh out of nowhere, and it just makes him look even crazier.
And he's like count to 3, and he's like 1, and he bounces.
Just takes off running.
It's really good. And then they see the same kind of. It's not the same guys, but it looks similar, and they're like, "Oh, they're again." It's really good. The whole time when they're on acid is very funny. It's very good. Well, let's talk about popcorn trivia.
Let me tell you something, pendejo.
All right. So the sequence.
Like your opinion, man.
The sequence involving Nick Cage reprising some of his most iconic roles like Face Off, Con Air, Leaving Las Vegas, and Gone in 60 Seconds in a long black and white fight sequence between him and his younger self in a surrealistic German expressionist set evoking the cabinet of
Dr. Caligari.
I heard that he liked those things, like in an interview with him.
It was cut. It was cut from the film.
That's too bad. His neo-shamanism, how did he call it?
Let's see. Oh, I didn't. I was going to put that as one of the quotes when I.
It's a good one
because
it's not made up. That's how he approaches it. Like, did you ever see like the non-CG acting rut cut of him in Ghost Rider 2? Where he didn't have like there was no CG, but his face was like done up all crazy. I recommend anyone seek that out. Yeah.
Have you seen the CG footage from Gone in 60 Seconds where he's supposedly driving that car off the ramp into like where he jumps the bridge.
Oh, at the end?
And he lands it. The CG footage of him like pretending to fly over the ramp in the car is hilarious. You need to watch that. It's so funny
he
to watch
did all his
act.
own stunts as this movie since. I don't know what you're talking about.
Dude, I need to look both of those up.
You should look up
really
because,
great.
I don't know if you saw Ghost Rider 2.
I did. I saw Ghost Rider 1. I did
Yeah.
not see Ghost Rider 2.
Yeah, but anyway, Ghost Rider 2, there's a scene in it. You would recognize the scene if you'd seen the
Did
movie.
they want to not have his face CG and they were trying
No, it is CG. It's just to film it to kind of give it the intensity of him being a giant flaming skull.
Oh, okay.
He kind of like did up his face in like a real way. And there's an intensity to it that
Well, I
committed.
guess what I'm saying is, were they trying to not like test to see if they could do it without?
No,
Yeah.
they were like
Yeah.
they wanted like a reaction
this
from
was-
everybody else.
This was
like,
for Nick
with
Cage's
his
benefit and
okay.
the other actors' benefit.
Okay.
They're doing it as much method as you can when you're
like Darth Maul, like on a motorcycle, basically.
When you're a demon motorcyclist thing.
That's awesome. And I got to look up your reference too, Cole. That sounds really great.
I can still picture it in my head. He's like supposed to like pretending to be hitting it with
Are you
force.
telling me
then, like,
he didn't
flying
really
through the
jump
air.
that bridge with that Hemi or whatever it was?
No.
Oh, with his
Was it
Mustang.
Shelby Mustang?
Yeah, with Eleanor.
No. We already mentioned last week by the way, that scene, that black and white scene is going to be on the home release. So if you want to watch that, it'll be available. Nick Cage, we talked about last week, said he wanted to play the role of Javi, but because Pedro Pascal was in it, and he relented and said, I'll play myself. He also said in an interview that he probably will never watch the movie because, this is quote, the idea of going meta and playing a quote unquote surrealistic version, I said it wrong again, version of myself and a quote unquote surrealistic. Oh my gosh. Surrealistic. There we go.
See, I just had to give you the right
version
roadmap.
man, sometimes I get tongue tied. Interpretation of a younger version of myself going head to head might just be too psychologically invasive for one Nick Cage.
He means it would be cringe, is what he's trying to say.
I think that is what he's getting at.
He says, I will go to the premiere, but I'm probably not going to be sitting in the audience. However, due to a conflict between the director and the studio, Cage had to watch the movie to decide whether some scenes should be cut or not. So he had to see it anyway. So despite his...
So he suffered the psychological damage he so feared.
Correct.
Yeah.
According to Nick Cage, he used Castor Troy's golden guns from Face Off in this movie.
Castor Troy, that's it. I love that name.
Yeah, it was like, everyone had like some Roman name too. His brother did.
I wonder where... I mean... They have to get him from somewhere unless he owns them.
Those actual guns?
Yeah.
If they're the real, what you're wondering if those were the real guns or if they just remade them?
I mean, that's what it says.
I'm pretty sure Nick brought his guns to the set and like let him use them.
That's pretty cool. If those were real guns.
I mean, it sounds like something he would want to keep from the set. But they're real guns too. Like that when Javi talks about it.
Well, are they real guns or are they real movie guns where they've been modified to shoot blanks? And,
oh yeah, I don't know. That's true. I always thought that they were real guns.
Because they change like the springs and stuff on them because it's not actually shooting at bullets, so there's not as much recoil.
Okay.
Yeah.
There you go. And we all are aware.
There's your firearm trivia.
Yeah, there you go. I mean, because we've had some incidents.
I think we should
with firearm armors and such.
I think we should call you Noble Caliber Tribe.
No.
Yeah, you like those guns.
Well,
That's fine.
Everyone needs a hobby. Microphone man.
Yeah, I know. I've spent way too much money on this stuff. For the first time since Fast Times at Ridgemont High, Nick Cage is credited with his real name, Nicholas Kim Coppola. I did. So
you didn't know?
I didn't know I was his real
that
name.
He was in a Hollywood royal
Yeah,
family.
he had royal lineage.
Yeah, of noble blood.
I did not. I mean, that I'm sure it's well known, but I didn't know that.
Was Jason Schwartzman's his cousin, right? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
See, that's another person who's
Okay. I didn't know that either.
Roman Coppola is like a writer on a lot of
and Sofia
Anderson
Coppola is the
films.
director. And,
Yeah, I knew
it's,
Sofia.
it's what they do.
All right. Well,
Nepotism is as prevalent there as is everywhere else.
But you can't give talent away. And
That's true. And you know what? I think Nick has earned his place.
it's true. But that being said, let's get into popcorn beefs.
Where's the beef? Hey, where's the beef?
So it sounds like I'm going to invite you guys to talk about your beefs because I didn't have any beefs. I liked all of it. So why, if you guys, since you didn't like it as much as me, why?
I mean, the whole FBI sideline is really strange because at one point they're a really big focus in the movie, and
how else do you get him into doing that?
But then the way they went about with the rest of the story, because then halfway through, suddenly they get found out, and then they wind up dead, and the safe house has been attacked, and like they have to tell this like breaking, section of a story that happens in 30 seconds. So you see Ike at one point in the movie, and then the next time you see him, he's just dead in a chair, tied up, and Tiffany's able.
Yeah, I felt like there was maybe one.
There's like a whole like they have a point, and then they don't know what to do with him. So then they literally just kill everybody, which I guess probably is making fun of the way the plot lines are in movies sometimes, or the plot holes.
Yeah,
but that was the thing that bugged me is they're all prevalent, and then all of a sudden they're like gone again, and then the story just like shifts forward, and then they're forgotten about instantly as soon as they leave the office. Well, everyone's dead here. I guess we should go. Okay.
I mean, it's fun. It's just, it's not as good as a lot of the recent Nick Cage movies. It's kind of the thing. I don't know. It's not like...
It's funny. Well, it's funny when Pedro and Nick are on screen.
Yeah.
But then when it cuts to anything else, you're kind of like scratching your head like, what's really going on?
I think that might, yeah. I mean, like the main plot, I don't like. I mean, they talk about the movie and it's like, you need to have some driving plot. But it's not that interesting.
It's Nick Cage just being a family man.
Really, it's
weird.
Yeah, like, but like that. And even like the greater criminal conspiracies, like, I don't...
Yeah, like what's...
like, what is funny, though, is definitely like Nick Cage kind of being burnt out, but then like... clearly just seeing himself as this passionate actor, like when he's like
he's got a good story to tell.
He's able to like provoke him on the cliff into acting again, just kind of like impromptu and being a character. And it's stuff like that that's like real fun, but it's not the whole movie kind of a thing. I don't know. I feel like that there's weaker parts to like a pretty strong core.
It's more like a long-running joke that lands well more than it doesn't.
Yeah. I mean, it's not like the Chuck Norris jokes, like, which I kind of thought it was going to be. It's like, oh, he's crazy. He's just going to be screaming and yelling every scene and making fun of referencing that YouTube clip of him doing Nick Cage freakouts. It's not that.
You're waiting for him to chew the scenery, but he actually does a good job at restraining himself.
Yeah. Well, I mean, there's the one thing with his younger self where he yells. I mean, that's like one thing.
That's pretty hilarious.
Yeah.
Just to see him talk bad about himself.
It's appropriate. I also think that he's probably like a way crazier, more eccentric dude.
Oh, I'm pretty sure he talks to himself.
And this movie portrays him as.
Yeah. I'm sure the interpretations of him talking to himself are taken verbatim from the source.
Yeah.
And he's yelling at himself.
Thinking about it now, the best parts for me are the first like third to 2/3.
Like the setup.
Yeah, I really enjoy just
that's
him
the thing.
and Pedro.
The action stuff at the end is fine, but it's not what you're there for, and it's not done exceptional.
It's not the Rock level,
Yeah, it's not
just kind of random shit.
Yeah, well, I didn't need more action.
No, and I didn't need what was in there, really.
I enjoyed their interaction. Really good.
It would be better labeled if it was like a buddy action comedy.
I mean, it kind of is.
They could have made it more that.
That's what I mean. That's what it should be labeled as.
But then you kind of give away they gave away a lot in the trailer.
They sure did.
If you build it that way, it might be...
Yeah.
It might be a little bit different. And I think maybe, I know it's a comedy, but they could have maybe played up more the uncle, what's it, is his cousin?
Mm-hmm. The actual
bad guy. Lucas. I think they could have made him more scary.
Yeah.
But I don't know, maybe not.
But then at the same time, it distracts from the whole tone of the film. Because up until that point, it's just slapstick kind of nostalgic comedy. But then you make it too serious and it would just throw you for a loop.
Judd Apatow does that all the time. He makes this really funny movie and then it's so sappy. And
I haven't seen any of his movies with funny people.
Like, dude,
funny people did do that, so you're right.
I'm like, I thought this was supposed to be funny. Why am I crying
cracking
now?
Jokes, and now he's got cancer.
No,
it's like, what the heck?
This is 40 is horrible.
I never saw it.
I agree with you.
And then
100%.
And apparently he wants to make This Is 50, where it's the two of them 10 years later, which sounds just as bad.
No, I'm not in for that. It's not good. Like, I think the 40-year-old virgin is teetering on where that kind of started happening.
But
I still liked it.
It kind of like devolves into sappiness at the end.
Yeah, they have enough, like the side.
It's like it's strong enough up to that point that you're like, oh, okay, fine.
Or like Bridesmaids. There's a drama in it, but it's really funny all the way throughout the movie. It just doesn't change to a different movie at the end. And I think this movie,
but Bridesmaids was Paul Feig, not Judd Apatow.
I think you just produced it.
Are you sure?
Mm-hmm.
I think Kristen Wiig wrote it too. I'm not sure though.
All right. Well, then that's probably why it was better.
So we want to actually look at it. Like whatever. What was the knocked up? That was 100% hits that problem. So
that's a good example. But
we're just going to dissect Judd Apatow's career here and what we view as things we don't like about his tendencies.
Popcorn in section.
I guess I was just referencing that because
it does something similar here.
If you made him more scary, that Lucas character, then it might change the tone. So I agree with you guys.
Yeah, I think it's fine how they have that. I don't know.
But at the same time, if you make him more menacing, it makes it more unlikely that Nick Cage, the movie star, is going to be able to take down this random drug cartel kind of plot line, which he winds up doing.
It's kind of interesting that they don't go into it with the setup because he's like clearly the son of a former cartel guy, but he himself is not really that involved. It's like, well, how'd that happen? Why is he not a monster? But whatever, it doesn't matter. That's not the point.
So they had Demi Moore show up at the end.
Which is great. I like that.
That transition's really fun.
It's a really great transition.
It was, but they tried to get Angelina Jolie, which I think would have been better. I did 60 seconds, but she couldn't do it or was out of the country or something. And it was supposed to be Quentin Tarantino at the beginning of the film for the director.
Oh, you're right.
Rather than, what's his name? Gordon Green.
That would have been
I also think would have been funnier given like their two personalities like acting together on screen.
I don't think they've ever worked together, have they? Mm-mm. Yeah. So that would even, especially when he says like, we decided to go in another direction.
Yeah.
I'm going to read for you right now. I'm going to do it. I can do a Boston accent.
Yeah. That stuff at the beginning is very good with him.
Very, very good.
It's like I had forgotten a lot of that, but his like obsession with acting and like when he's talked to his daughter about the film they watched together and what they collectively thought of it is very funny.
Yeah.
There's a lot of good stuff in it.
I really like that too. Well, any other beefs before we go to popcorn puzzles?
Nah, I don't think so.
All right.
They should have done it like Kiss Kiss Bang Bang, where Pedro, you think Pedro and Javi and the girlfriend get killed or like slaughtered. They show up at the premiere like all bandaged up and like arm in a sling. Like, did you like it? Like, what did you think about the script?
People in the Midwest, sorry for swearing so much.
Yeah. That would have been good.
A sphincter says what? What? A sphincter says what? What? Exactly.
So I already kind of spoiled my popcorn puzzle, which was I didn't know he was his uncle. But
do you know where he got the name Cage from?
No.
The comic book Luke Cage. That's what I've read. I don't know if that's true.
Well, according to when he was talking to Jimmy Kimmel, like there's probably some truth to it.
He probably said that at least.
No, there is because like
I know he's a big comic book guy because that's why his son's named Kal-El.
He wanted to play That's why he wound up in Ghost Riders because he wanted to do something like superhero-ish wise.
Well, he wanted to be Superman, and we were robbed of that movie. And that
but given the pictures they presented, I think it would have been a very different movie.
It would have been interesting, and that's what matters.
His hair in that would have been
would have been
cool.
Amazing.
With Tim Burton directing.
We missed out.
Yeah, that was the road not traveled.
Yeah. All right, this brings us to our last category, which is popcorn redemption.
I have exorcised the demon.
So as you know, this category was born because of Macbeth and some other movies that we kind of crap on at the end. And I want to leave with a good note, regardless if it's a movie we really, really like or if it's a movie that we don't like.
Shakespeare is rolling over in his grave at the thought of you shitting on his works.
No, it's not. Well, yeah, it's probably a little bit of Shakespeare and also that movie. They're both
great movie
turds.
Yeah.
Subtitles
were on. Maybe
it was probably the only.
Maybe if you're more familiar.
If we'd had subtitles, it would have helped.
They were in Scottish accents and they were speaking Shakespearean dialogue. It was not. It was super dark. Understand.
Yeah, well, especially when Marion was speaking with her already French accent, you could hardly understand what the heck they were saying.
Like usually we kind of joke around during our screenings, but like that time we were all
everybody, even your wife was like laser focused, like trying to hear what they were saying.
Yeah, that's right. My wife watched it, and I think she bounced. She's like, I can't do this anymore.
Yeah, she only lasted for like an hour.
We should have watched 1971. I think that was the other one that we had. Yeah,
no, we did.
We ended up watching it.
We ended up watching that. It was great. Actually,
that was me.
So okay, we've got 3 movies that I like.
See, 3 in 10 years is pretty good.
Pretty good. Well, for me, we talked about some of the stuff early on in this episode that the drug scene is really great. The entire sequence is really great. I just love the interaction between those two guys, and especially Pedro Pascal. He's by far the best part of this movie for me, and I really like Nick Cage. So that says something. Like those two together are really great. What about you guys? What do you like the most?
Nick Cage is a treasure. I think this is a fun 2 hours to spend with him. And we should cherish the moments.
Yeah.
For they are not infinite.
I can't believe they didn't include that scene in the movie. Like, that would have made it all the more incredible.
That would have been really cool, and I'm excited to see that.
That would have been perfect during the acid trip or something. And Nicolas Cage imagining fighting with himself or like various characters going at it.
What would you guys rate this film?
A good amount of stars. It's fun, but it's not like his best. And it's not Nick Cage's best movie, I would say. But as far as action comedy goes, it's good. It's fun.
I mean,
it's a good time.
Since this was my second time, it's very rewatchable.
Yes, I would describe the whole movie as that. It's very watchable.
You're going to pick stuff up each time, like especially.
Yeah, it's like
what I loved is the memorabilia room. How there was the bottle and like shot glass from Leaving Las Vegas of like vodka up on the shelf next to like a picture of him winning his Oscar, is together in the little. It was hilarious.
Yeah, I want to put this up there where I'm going to watch this again. I'll watch this more times for sure.
This is something I'd suggest to my family, and they're not like big into movies, but this is something I think a lot of them would like.
Yeah, it's very approachable. I mean, other than there's, if you don't like language, that'll be
there's some
barrier. Some violence.
Not too bad.
But it's not like grotesque or anything.
No,
I wouldn't recommend Mandy.
If it wasn't for the F word, this would be a PG-13.
To a lot of those people.
Like easy movie.
Mandy's an acquired taste.
But it is,
but it's rad. Well, so we've got some stars. You just only give
me a good amount of stars.
A good amount of stars. Okay, that's better.
Yeah,
I'm giving it.
That's right. He's doing it. Going all the way.
You get the Halo stars.
Pot committed.
5. It's a golden bucket. I think anytime where I'm like, I want to watch this again.
Yeah.
When you told me
it's not grating second time, that speaks well for its watchability.
When Cole messaged me, and I take the surprise out of the selection because I need to do a little bit of research so he can talk about something. But
he loves it when it's my month because I'm very decisive in my decisions.
Yeah, you're always like, it's of these 5.
Yeah,
I answer these riddles 3.
So I pick 16 of them and I put them in a hat, and then I pick out 5, and then I make someone else pick 3 of those 5.
And then when we're about to push play,
I change my mind and say we're going to
watch Charlie Chaplin.
No, we're going to watch.
And I fell asleep.
Horrible
French movie that's in a nightclub.
Sleepless Nights.
Or that furry movie that we watched.
Oh yeah, Pottersville.
Oh my gosh,
not good.
I'm glad I fell asleep during
that. Not good.
That was hot garbage. Well, so what do you give it?
Brain Wrap 3.5 out of 4. It's got some really dead spots.
That's higher than you normally. You're normally 3 out of 4.
But it's funny.
You gave Upgrade a lower thing. I went and re-listened to that, and I'm like re-mad at you for not appreciating that movie for its greatness.
It was a good show. Good. I feel bad about that one. The camera moves like when the robot takes over. Pretty sweet.
Very sick. Anyway.
All right, 3 out of 4. A good amount of stars and a golden bucket.
3.5 out of 4.
Yeah. Any parting thoughts, gentlemen?
Nick Cage is an American treasure. That's the real treasure in National Treasure.
He looks like a human wax figurine come to life with his makeup on.
I want him to live forever, but instead we will just have to savor the time he spends with us.
I want National Treasure 3.
It's coming.
Make a National Treasure.
They're doing it.
I think they did say
They've been saying that for
I know, but I think it might be a Disney Plus thing.
It's like actually in production. Like they tweeted out like they have a script and like they're starting like pre-production.
Fantastic.
I'm in. That'll be really great. I enjoyed those movies thoroughly.
You can't beat The First Disaster. That was the lamest mystery the founding fathers ever put together, but they try.
Yeah. Well, that's it for this week, but I am with you always. Look for me in the cloud at Popcorn Priest. I love movies and would love it if you'd share the love. Share this with the movie lover in your life. Another way to support the show is by throwing a few shekels at the priest by visiting patreon.com/popcorn priest and see what extra perks you can enjoy. If you made it this far, go give us a 5-star review, please, on Spotify or Apple Podcasts. I command thee. As always, thanks for listening, and thanks to my guests, Noble Gas Tribe, a.k.a. Xenon Gas Tribe, and Brain Rapperines.
We should just call you Full Metal Jacket Tribe. Full Metal Tribe.
Always a pleasure, gentlemen.
National Treasure 3, November 15th, 2024.
Really?
It's too far.
That's too far. We might not make it. We might not make
the world
it
may
that.
not be there.
Yeah.
That's true. Well, it'll be the last film we get to see before everything
All
goes
right.
to crap.
I like that. I'd love to be in the theater. And
That's the last movie.
Watch the last mystery uncovered before the mystery itself is destroyed.
The final mystery.
We'll come full circle.
Yep,
Thank
exactly.
you, Nicholas.
National
Cage.
Treasure 3, The Stolen Election.
Oh no. Well, with that, remember, when you watch movies, you can pop off, pop in, or pop out, but always bring the popcorn. We'll see you guys next week.